Good morning and welcome to the third video of my training series. I'm Chan. Today is interval day, so I'm going to do 10 reps of almost maximum effort. So why I say almost maximum effort is because intervals, what you want to do is try to have the quality first as opposed to the quantity. The quantity you can add later, no problem. So ideally your first interval, your first rep I mean, and your last rep should be very close together, in that if you are going to do say 300 watts for 1 minute for the first interval, you really want to do 300 watts or close to for the last interval as well. So that's one of the most important things about intervals. And number two, you really want to warm up properly at the place that you want. And depending on what kind of intervals you are doing, you can use intervals to give you so-called specific improvements in very specific areas. So for example now, oh my, the climb. So for example now, I'm mainly doing maintenance work. So I'm doing hill climb intervals, 2 minutes each, with one short sprint at the end. So short sprint is maybe about 3 seconds only, just to have both sustainable power over a minute or two, sorry, and then try to reach maximum power when I'm fatigued. So that's my interval for today. But for intervals, as I said, you could do specific areas. So for example, sprinters can do sprint intervals, right? Some can do flat intervals, or yeah, it really depends on what you want to achieve. So for me, at this point of time, because of the virus, there really isn't any specific race-specific work that I want to do. So it will be just maintenance work. So that's basically the three things. And the best is to find somewhere safe and where you don't disturb anybody, and there are not so many cars, so they don't really disrupt your intervals, because you really want to have a consistent effort throughout, right, for the interval that you are doing. Yeah, so that's it. Choose the kind of interval you want to do depending on what your goals are. Today is maintenance for me. Second, warm up thoroughly. Again, I cannot emphasize this enough. You really have to warm up properly, because you are going to be going in the red for an extended period of time. And then yeah, find somewhere safe to do it. So let's get to the pain. Oh, first part. Sprint coming up. Go. Finish. Interval. Finish 10 already. Oh, thank you for joining me today. I'm always thankful that I can finish my intervals, even though I've done this countless times. So all the best for your intervals in the future. They can be goal specific, preferably, because all you want to do is to replicate possibly a race situation, but at a training kind of scenario, you know. So again, determine the kind of intervals you want to do. For me, it's mainly for maintenance today, so that it's good for me because I'm already in my 40s. So as we age, we lose a lot of the explosivity. Even if your average power can be high, but if they keep surging, right, they can end up dropping you anyway. So for people like me, a bit older one, it's good to do some intervals so that you keep some of your explosivity. Second, pace your intervals. Don't do an interval within an interval. You know, if you're going to do say 300 watts for 1 minute, then try to hold a constant 300 watts for that 1 minute, as opposed to doing say 500 in the first 10 seconds. And then after that you end up doing 250 for the rest of the 50 seconds. There's no point, right? And then warm up properly. As usual, always warm up properly, because you are going into the rate very quickly from the onset. And then finally, complete every interval. So if let's say you are supposed to do 10, and then after 5 you feel like, wow, I can't hold this kind of power anymore, never mind, it's okay. You know, we just learn from it. You can, instead of doing say 300 that you wanted to do, never mind, drop it to 250 or 260, but complete the 10, right? Follow through with your training plan, even if it doesn't go to plan. It's just a plan. We do our best to stick to it, but as they say, right, famous last words, the best laid plans, or everybody has a plan until they are hit. So this is it, right? Follow through with your plan, stick to your training. For sure you got to see improvements. Thank you, and I'll see you at the next ride.